The potential of youth collaboration is boundless, a force that ignites progress, fosters unity, and shapes a better world for us all. Join the movement, harness your creativity, and let your voice be part of the chorus that shapes a brighter tomorrow through the power of youth collaboration. Together, we can create a world where innovation knows no limits, where solutions are abundant, and where positive change is not just a dream but a reality. The future is in our hands. Let's shape it together through the potential of youth collaboration. Explore Istanbul's hidden treasures. Get ready to uncover the enchanting beauty of Istanbul, a city where history and modernity intertwine. From the iconic skyline to the bustling markets, every corner tells a story. But wait, there's more. Discover 7 hidden gems that will take your breath away. Hagia Sophia, a timeless marvel that once was a cathedral, then a mosque, now a museum. Topkapi Palace, a royal marvel with stunning gardens and priceless artifacts. Yedikule Fortress, unearthed centuries of history and panoramic views. Fener and Balat, vibrant neighborhoods painted in a kaleidoscope of colors. Miniaturk, explore Turkish wonder in miniature form. Ortaköy Mosque, a picturesque mosque with intricate architecture by the Bosporus. Bosporus Strait, the watery heart connecting two continents, offering stunning views. Join us in unlocking Istanbul's secrets and experiencing its captivating charm. Your adventure awaits. Youth break the boundaries, inspire the next.
Registration guideline of the Istanbul Youth Summit. Creating a new account. Open your browser and visit istanbulyouthsummit.com. Click the sign up button on the navigation bar to access the sign up page. Fill out the sign up form with your email, full name, and the password of your choice. Ensure you agree to our privacy policies by checking the provided box. Visit istanbulyouthsummit.com. Click the sign-in button on the navigation bar to access the sign-in page. Enter your registered email and password in the designated fields. Completing the Istanbul Youth Summit registration form. To complete the Istanbul Youth Summit registration form, follow these steps. Fill out the registration form with your personal information and other required details, which include Take your time to fill out all the fields, and once you're ready, click the Submit button. Congratulations! Your Istanbul Youth Summit registration form has been successfully submitted.
And I'm a final year student of Bachelor of Engineering Technology in Railway System, and I'm also a Malaysian. My motivation for joining Istanbul Youth Summit is that I believe it's a good stepping stone to getting to network with youth outside there, and I believe that join as well. Thank you.
Hello, my name is Omar. I am from Egypt and I'm currently studying medicine. Throughout my life, I have developed a goal that has been growing with me up to this point, which is to leave a positive impact on the world and at the same time
Youth Break the Boundaries is a foundation that focuses on all instruments regarding the development and empowerment of the youth to prepare excellent future leaders by promoting their identity and character and also providing the noble values of the youth.
YBB carries a variety of programs that can provide benefits for the youth around the world at national and international levels, such as youth summits, youth camps, youth festivals, YBB scholarship program, and also the scholarship opportunities that we share on our websites, mobile application, and other social medias.
For today's course, our
Imagine a world of excitement, connection, and unforgettable experiences. An event that brings together like-minded individuals from all walks of life. Powerful speakers inspire, educate, and ignite the audience's passion. Discover groundbreaking technologies and solutions that shape the future. Immerse yourself in the pulsating rhythm of live music and entertainment. Forge lasting connections, network, and expand your professional circle. Join the conversation online and share your unforgettable experiences. Mark your calendars and secure your spot for the event of a lifetime. Don't miss out on the event that will leave you inspired, connected, and transformed. Get ready to experience the magic of our event. IstanbulYouthSummit.com.
Get ready to embark on a journey of innovation, collaboration, and meaningful impact. The stage is set, and the curtain is about to rise on a transformative experience. The Istanbul Youth Summit has been a beacon of empowerment, bringing young leaders from across the globe together. And now, as we approach the 7th series in 2024, we're excited to unveil the theme that will guide our collective efforts. Innovation and collaboration, unlocking youth-driven solutions for sustainability. This theme is a call to action, an invitation to harness our creativity, ideas, and passion for a sustainable future. It's a declaration that our youth have the power to drive change, to find solutions that transcend boundaries, and to make a lasting impact. Together, we will unlock a world of possibilities, challenge norms, and create a legacy of positive change. Get ready to shape the future together. Youth break the boundaries, inspire the next. Are you ready in shaping tomorrow together? Discover the remarkable potential of youth collaboration in shaping a better world. Imagine young minds from every corner of the globe coming together, break their boundaries, and uniting for a common purpose. When these diverse perspectives intertwine, a symphony of creativity and innovation takes center stage. The impact of collaborative efforts resonates far and wide, as vibrant projects and initiatives bring positive change to communities around the world. Empowered by collaboration, young leaders step into the forefront, driving forward the solutions and ideas that shape our shared future. The potential of youth collaboration is boundless, a force that ignites progress, fosters unity, and shapes a better world for us all. Join the movement, harness your creativity, and let your voice be part of the chorus that shapes a brighter tomorrow through the power of youth collaboration. Together, we can create a world where innovation knows no limits, where solutions are abundant, and where positive change is not just a dream but a reality. The future is in our hands. Let's shape it together through the potential of youth collaboration.
Okay, hello everyone. Good afternoon from Indonesia. Um, my name is Ainur Mutmainnah Mulyono, or you can call me Ina, and I'm gonna be the moderator for today's discussion. Guys, before we start our meeting, is it possible to open your camera first, guys? So yeah, the today's discussion will be more interactive and also will be more fun. Okay, guys. So welcome to the pre-orientation class of World Youth Festival 2024. Yeah, I guess that this is the third session of the agenda, and I'm genuinely thankful for all of you guys for coming to the class, even though in weekend. But I bet that you won't be regret for attending the class because we have a really good topic to be discussed about, namely mastering personal branding strategies for professional growth. Anyways, we will dive into the real session, but before that, I would like to introduce you to the World Ear Festival. Just wait a minute. I think that there is some technical issues from our laptop. Okay. So sorry guys. So for the Youth Break the Boundaries itself is a non-governmental organization that focused on all instruments regarding the development and empowerment of the youth to prepare excellent future leaders by promoting strong identity and character and also providing noble values for the youth. We have several programs here. Firstly, we have Middle East Youth Summit. Like it's named, the summit is held in Mecca and focusing on Islamic world issues. And the unique part of Middle East Summit is there are like opportunities for the delegates to perform umrah beside the symposium itself. And the second one, we also have Istanbul Youth Summit. It's like one of the biggest conferences. And yeah, for your information, currently we're opening for the ambassador program of Istanbul Youth Summit 2025. I guess I think that this program could be one of ways for you guys to gain your personal branding as well. And the thirdly, we have Japan Youth Summit. It's like the newest program from Youth Break the Boundaries, and it's successfully held in Osaka in July this year in 2024. And then we also have Youth Leader Camp. I think that this program is suitable for all of you guys that love volunteering activity. Last but not least, we also have World Youth Festival that you are currently in. Okay. I'm so sorry, guys. I think it's because of the connection. Okay, next about the World Youth Festival. So this program is organized by Youth Break the Boundaries, and which will be held in Kuala Lumpur, Malaysia in October 5 to 8, 2024. So basically the program highlight of the World Youth Festival is about the business idea competition, guys. So please be aware that World Youth Festival is a competition. So you can please to prepare yourself, actively involved in each pre-orientation classes of World Youth Festival. So because yeah, you want to be a winner, right, from the competition. And the next is this is the rundown of today's agenda. You have to pay attention that Q&A session will be open after the subject matter around 20 minutes. And also we can add around things for you guys, especially if you apply for the fully funded participants. So don't leave first, guys, because it's really important for you. And these are also do's and don'ts that you have to pay attention. Firstly, please ensure your microphone is muted during the session because yeah, we don't want to disturb our speaker, right? But if you have a question while the speaker is presenting, you can type on the chat box and I will read it later on the Q&A session. Or you can also raise your hand using the raise hand feature on the Zoom apps, and then I will allow you to open your microphone and ask directly to the speaker. I think, and I encourage you guys to use your microphone to ask directly to the speaker. Okay, now, yeah, as described at the topic, that's our topic is mastering personal branding. Yeah, therefore we also have a master today. Welcome, Sina Garcia. Hello, Sheena.
Hello.
Hello. You're so beautiful, Sheena. How are you?
I'm very excited to share with the participants for today.
Okay, great. Well, by the way, Sheena is postdoctoral fellow, PhD in chemical and biological engineering at the Hong Kong University of Science and Technology, Hong Kong. She also has a lot of achievement, including she is a winner of Poster Presentation Award in Toxicology Division by American Chemical Society or ACS during ACS Fall Conference in San Francisco. She is also a winner of international competition of short story writing of UMI Fest held by the Office of International Affairs with the title Summer Rainbow. Last but not least, Sheena also awarded as the second best innovation idea in Japan Youth Summit held in Osaka from July 1 to 4, 2024. Oh my God, that's incredible, Sheena. That's
Thank you
really
so much,
amazing.
Nina.
That's really amazing. By the way, thank you so much for coming. I cannot wait to hear your story for the participant, and also I can learn from you. So guys, please do not waste this opportunity. It's like a golden ticket for you guys to learn directly from the real master here. So guys, yeah, once again, if you have a question, we will open the Q&A session after Sheena and her material. Yeah, so I think we should start our meeting today. Sheena, are you ready to start the meeting?
Yes, of course. I'm very excited.
Okay. So for the operator, is it possible to share Sheena's PPT? Is it the screen visible? Okay. Okay, Sheena, I think that's we're ready to hear your story. So without any further ado, the time is yours, Sheena.
First of all, I'd like to welcome everyone in this session. I knew that the participants are coming from different parts of the world, so good day. And thank you so much for attending this talk. I would like to share with you some of my experiences. And my topic is about mastering personal branding, which are the strategies for professional growth. First, let me introduce myself, give a brief description so that we could know each other. Next slide, please. Yes, as Anna has mentioned a while ago, as Ina, sorry, has mentioned a while ago, I'm a postdoctoral fellow in Hong Kong. So postdoc is it means I'm a continuing researcher under a particular professor, and I have already obtained my PhD, and I have my PhD in chemical and biological engineering last 2022 from the Hong Kong University of Science and Technology. So during my graduation at the time, I was very blessed to be the graduate representative to deliver the speech among all the engineering students. And since I have been involved with several international activities, I have also been a Hong Kong ambassador during international exposures. Next slide, please. So, I would like to share with you my journey on how I have been involved in several international camps, and these are similar to what you're applying for, which is the World Youth Festival in Malaysia. So, as for my experience, here is a brief history of myself. So, I have graduated my college back in 2017. I was from the Philippines, so I grew up there, and I chose science. I have always been a woman in STEM because that's the field which I like. And after I finished my bachelor's degree back in college, I applied for the chemical licensure exam in the Philippines. And this is through examination. So after you graduate, after you have your degree, you will have the nationwide examination. And I passed it, so I practiced being a chemist back in 2017. My first international exposure was actually in Hong Kong. So here we have the School of Engineering summer camp. This happened right after my graduation. So we had a 1 week event. So this was from July 9 to 15, 2017. And the participants are mostly people who are going to graduate their college degrees, and it's open for different fields of engineering. So there's chemical engineering, civil engineering, and other different types of engineering. At the time, since I was one of the people in our university who is doing well in chemistry, that's a Bachelor of Science, but I was interested in chemical engineering, so I applied for this summer camp, and luckily I got in. So that's my first international exposure, actually. But then after my first travel, because I get to see a different place, I went to Hong Kong, which is very different from the Philippines. I met different people of different nationalities. I learned about their campus, I learned about their instruments. So for me at the time, I was very excited because most of their instruments are top notch. They're really new. And I was thinking, oh, if I could enter this university, I think my research would be faster. Or there's a very advanced state of the art equipment. So I'm very excited to use them. So my first international exposure was actually very exciting, and it actually made me realize that traveling is a really unique experience. It's one thing which I love, and if I will be given the opportunity to do it again, I would love to do it again. So that was my first experience, and it was in Hong Kong. Here, after, because it was 1 week, you will have the opportunity to meet the professors as well. So their goal is actually to recruit some students who will pursue engineering. So I grabbed that opportunity. So when I met some of the professors, they have immediately gave me an offer that if I sign it, I would start my PhD in HKUST once I accomplish all their requirements. So of course that was my first exposure, and I could see myself in Hong Kong doing research. So I immediately signed for it. So that's how I came to HKUST. And then after 2017, I actually practiced my license in the Philippines. So I worked in the Philippine Institute of Pure and Applied Chemistry and worked for a year. Afterwards, I actually applied for my first cultural camp experience. This is called UMI Camp. It is also in Indonesia. It's in Malang. And at the time, I was thinking, could I apply as a Philippine ambassador in this kind of program? Because I wanted, actually traveling is one of the honest reasons of why I wanted to apply. I wanted to travel again, but at the same time, it would be a good opportunity for me to represent the Philippines. So I was like, is it okay for me to try this kind of experience? It's actually a cultural camp, and it's not something which is very related to my field because it's not related to science or engineering. But I told myself maybe I should try. And luckily enough, in this first cultural camp, which I applied to, I actually became waitlisted at first. And then ultimately, they granted me the opportunity to attend UMI camp. So this camp in HKUST and this camp in Indonesia were all funded. So I was lucky enough to join. These are my two first international experiences. Okay, next slide, please. Okay, so now let's go to our real deal. So, what is personal branding? I'd like to share with you first the definition of personal branding so that you know how you would apply it for your own. So, personal branding is how you present yourself to the world. So, that's how you showcase your skills, your expertise, your experiences, and your personality. And you show these things that you have, these things as your own, as valuable. So, some of the importance of personal branding, please click, would be it differentiates you in your field. So it makes you unique. So even though, for example, I'm in science and other people here are also in science, we still have different histories. So I may be the person who have taken a Bachelor of Science in Chemistry, and you may be a person who decided to do something like in physics, or maybe you totally did not choose to go in science. You decided to go in other fields, which is, for example, art, or you wanted to go in sports. Those would be your own, and you would have your own value in that field. But on how you present yourself, which will make you different from other candidates. And by personal branding, you could position yourself as an expert. You could show that you are a leader in your field, some of the positions which you have held in your own university, and also some of your experiences on how you handled a team or how you participated in an event. And this, through personal branding, establishes credibility and trust. Credibility and trust to your audience and to what you are applying for. And through the personal branding, you could stand out. And standing out because you showcase your strength and expertise, and also you and by showing this strengths and expertise and your contribution, you could attract opportunities and even recognition. And if you already have these recognitions, awards, and opportunities, it says something a lot about yourself. So that's where you start building a strong reputation. And it also allows you to network in your industry. So for people who is starting to apply for these camps like the World Youth Festival, this is actually a great opportunity for you to start your reputation. So this is a competition. So if you do well, you could have an award. And in your next international application, you could use that as a leverage during your application. And also at the time wherein you will attend these kinds of international exposure, you will meet a lot of people with different fields and different histories. So you could get to know you could get to know them personally. You could add them on your social media and in your professional websites like LinkedIn, and you could continue collaboration. Who knows, later you would also meet in another conferences, right? Okay, so next slide, please. Here are some strategies for personal branding. Okay, the first one is unique value proposition. Again, you show your unique value. What makes you different from other candidates? What could you share? What could you contribute? So usually when we're applying for international exposure, we want that event for us to teach us something, to improve us. But at the same time, we know that there are also a panel which is selecting the participants, right? So I think some of the participants here are interested as a fully funded candidate. So during your interview, it would be great for you to share what makes you stand out by sharing your strengths, and also by sharing some of your awards. Share all the things which you think would make the panel remember you. And you could do so by effectively communicating your expertise, because most of the time we don't have a long amount of time, so make it concise. Just let them remember you. And yes, so you need to know the target audience, understand who you want to reach and what you are applying for. So in every international event or anything you're applying for, they always have a goal, a mission and vision. And of course, they're looking for some people who will be in line with those mission and vision. So get to know what you're applying. That's very important. If you have the time, it would be great for you to get to know for example, the CEO of the event you're applying for, and some of the people whom you will meet in the interview. It would be great that you could try to connect with them beforehand as well, and be sure to know what you're applying for, because that would affect on how you will apply, because you want to show that you as a participant could do something and could contribute in that event. It should always be coherent, what you're applying for and what you're showing in your application. Okay. So what's important is consistency. It's very important to establish your clear brand image, because this builds credibility and trust, and it reinforces your expertise and reliability. So it would be great if what you will be showing in your application are your strengths and what you are good at and what you have been involved with for a very long time, because this is the one which builds trust and credibility, and it actually has an impact on how the panel chooses you as a fully funded candidate. Okay, next slide, please. Okay, so one of my international exposure after this is my first one when I entered my PhD. I actually participated in Iwalu's international seminar. This was held in South Korea. It is actually only for women in STEM. And at the time, they were training us on how we also brand ourselves. And one of the most important things I learned in this international exposure is every time before you ask a question or before you say something, when you are holding the mic, you're supposed to introduce yourself. Don't forget that. Introduce yourself, say your name, where you are from. So for example, hello, I'm Sheena from Hong Kong. And then you proceed with what your goal is. So, for example, your goal is to ask a question. That's the time you ask your question. It was after you introduce yourself. So, for example, you have 5 seconds. You could already say your name and your country. Don't forget that before you go to your main goal, because it lets the people know who you are, and it's also at the same time a sign of respect before you speak. So that's one of the things I'd like to share, which I learned in that international exposure. Next slide, please. So I have some tips for crafting an effective elevator pitch. So when you have an elevator pitch, you only have a very few amount of time. So let's say they would only give you a 3 minute time for you to introduce yourself, introduce what you're doing, introduce what you want to achieve or what you want to present. Then you have these 3 tips. First, keep it concise and engaging. We don't have all the long time. We only have 3 minutes. So make it very concise and engaging. Number 2 is highlight your strengths and achievements, because this will be the one which will make us remember you. And number 3, of course, we tailor it to the audience. Okay, so it depends on your audience. You should know your audience. If your audience are all, for example, right now, the people here are from age 16 until 35. So I need to make my presentation understandable by a teenager and for people at the same time who are professional already. So if you're doing an elevator pitch, you need to know who you are talking to, and that would make everything easier. Okay, next slide, please. As for me, since I'm the person related to science and technology, what I leverage is actually my achievements in research field or in the scientific field. So every time I apply for these international events, I, of course, put my academic awards, honor, and achievements. These honors, awards, achievements, so for some people, maybe grades also, you need to place it there because it's already an evidence that you're a hardworking person and that you could be committed at what you're doing in school. It's an early sign of success. Next, you also show your expertise in the specific field you have chosen. You know yourself, you're the person who knows yourself because it is you, right? So you need to try to convey to others what you do. And it would be great if you could show your strengths, and you could do that by sharing your expertise. At the same time, in my area, I show my impact to the community. So our community is actually the academic community. So we have research projects and publications. So I make sure that I share with that as well as the collaborations with other researchers or institutions, because it shows that I could work well with others as well, and I'm a team player. And for some applications wherein testimonials and endorsements from mentors or colleagues are required, this actually is very important. You need to ask your mentors to give you a very good recommendation letter or nomination letter, because they are actually the people whom you have worked closely with. So yes, you need to, and for you to be able to get a good recommendation letter, you need to perform well. So yes, this is what I usually do when I apply. So for others cases, you could leverage your expertise. It may be on different field, but make sure you try to emphasize all your strengths. Next slide. Okay, so one of the things we PhD or postdocs or researchers attend to are different types of presentations on conferences to showcase our research. And one of my awards was actually a poster presentation award. This was conducted in San Francisco, California, by the American Chemical Society, which is one of the biggest conferences, which allows for chemists, engineers, material scientists to be together. So in poster presentation, you would actually be standing near your poster, and then some of the people who will go into your place would ask what your research is about. But before you do that, you could actually introduce yourself, get to know the person asking as well, and that's the time you share your research. You need to also very carefully listen to their questions so that you may answer them properly. So yes, even though it's a poster presentation, I still make sure that I introduce myself. So for example, here, hi, I'm Sheena. I'm a postdoctoral fellow from the Hong Kong University of Science and Technology, and I'm working on this research. And then I try to give them the time for me to ask. So that's how you do it. Okay, next slide, please. And as for me, I also put my international exposures on my applications because international exposures actually shows that our growth, because we go to another place which is not our comfort zone, so we gain skills and different perspectives when we go out of our comfort zone. These experiences also contribute to our expertise and credibilities because it shows that we are internationally competitive, and that we have these skills which we could use not only in our home country but also internationally. So it makes us globally competitive. Click next, click please. And by showing your international exposure, you also showcase cultural awareness and adaptability, because that's the time wherein you meet different people with different cultures from different types of the world. So they grew up differently, they have their own culture, they have their own beliefs as well. So it shows how flexible you are, how adaptable you are, and how you engage with other people. And it differentiates you in your field, and also it attracts global opportunities. Yes, every one of us has different experiences, has different we have our own expertise, so we could share. Even for example, I go to an international conference, we are all scientists, but then we work on different fields, so that differentiates us already, and all our experiences are also different. So you cannot say that you don't have your own unique perspective. You always have. You just need to believe in yourself. Okay, next slide please. Okay, I'm gonna share with you some of my other exposures. So I went to Tokyo back in 2019. This is the Asia Oceania Top University League in Engineering. And here we are actually proposing some of our researches and how they align with a sustainable development goal. And then I went to San Francisco back in 2023, the one which I shared a while ago, where I shared some of my oral presentation of my research and poster presentation. And then I went to Sydney back in 2022. So this is Rising Stars for Women Engineering workshop. They gave us the opportunity to actually practice ourselves as an emerging leader, as a woman in STEM. And they have shared with us some of the challenges and some of the things that we could do in order to improve. And the most recent one was in Strasbourg, France. Again, this was a conference. I was able to share my research studies in France. So I shared with them about the toxicity of nanomaterials and their transportation in plants. Okay, next slide, please. Yes, I would like to share with you some of the things I have learned through the different international exposures I've been involved with. Number one is actually overcoming imposter syndrome. And we overcome imposter syndrome or self-doubt in our professional journey, and also to excel in our own field. So, what is imposter syndrome? Next slide, please. I'm not sure if everyone is already familiar with this term, so let me give you a brief description of imposter syndrome. Okay, imposter syndrome is actually a feeling of self doubt and inadequacy despite evidence of their accomplishments and abilities. So, this imposter syndrome is actually very common. Even people who have a lot of achievements or awards internationally, like Nobel Prize winners, or even others which were, for example, very much known in the business or in entrepreneurship, those who were already interviewed in Forbes magazine, they still feel this feeling of self doubt or inadequacy. So sometimes maybe you could also feel this in your own while you're trying to apply for something you really wanted to, or maybe when you're applying for this kinds of international event like World Youth Festival. So how do we overcome this feeling of self-doubt? Number one is recognize and acknowledge your feelings. Imposter syndrome is a common feeling. So we need to know that imposter syndrome is being felt not only by you but also by other people. Number two, we could because acknowledging or knowing that we're encountering it is the first step. We need to know what the problem is. Number two is we could reframe our thoughts. And we could reframe our thoughts by focusing on our strengths and accomplishment rather than our shortcomings. So we are humans. So we all have our strengths, we all have our weaknesses. If we focus on our weakness, we would start with the spiraling down. Like, I am not enough. I'm not good at this. I am not. I am not. It's always an I am not statement. But if we try to refocus our thoughts and focus on our strengths instead, like if we learn how to celebrate our small wins or our victories, this would actually help us have a different perspective. We will no longer have self pity if we do so, and we could be more confident. And number three is by talking to someone, by seeking support, and practicing self care. This is very important, of course. Before your interviews, you need to make sure you get enough sleep, you eat well, and you engage in activities that bring you joy. It will help your brain refresh and have a presence of mind during the interview. So next slide, please. And here are some of my tips for World Youth Festival application or other international applications you go for. So number one, of course, you need to research for these types of opportunities, these summits, workshops, conferences. You need to research on them early because you need to know your audience. You need to know what they're applying for, what you could contribute in that. Number two is you tailor your application. This is very important. You customize your application materials to highlight your qualifications and interest, which will make you suitable for that international summit or workshop. So you cannot use the same material all over again. You need to customize it so that it's really for that international specific international workshop you're applying for. And number three is you could network effectively with professionals and past participants for leads. So if you knew people who were involved with these kinds of international participants and you could reach out to them, they could give you some tips. They could share some of the things that are not really explicitly told during such interviews or such applications. They could give you some new perspectives or some tricks on how you could get in. And number four is you demonstrate your impact. You show how the summit or workshop aligns with career goals and future growth. So usually if you have something you're applying for, you need to show to them your contribution. Again, your strengths, how you could add value into that summit or workshop, and also the sustainability in that part. Does it align with your career goals or your future growth goals? If yes, it demonstrates the impact. If not, then you need to find a way on how to show that this workshop is something you need, is something which will help you grow as a person. Number 5 is seek mentorship. It's almost the same with networking. And the 6 is stay updated on deadlines. You need to make sure that you apply on time, because if the deadline has already passed, you can no longer apply for it, no matter if you like it or not. And lastly is be persistent in applying for opportunities despite these rejections. So you may have seen that I have been involved with lots and lots of international exposures, but you wouldn't know how many international exposures I have actually applied for before getting into them. So again, try to be persistent. It's okay if you have rejections, you just need to try again next time. Yes, and that next slide, please. Okay, so this is my most recent international exposure from Youth Break the Boundaries. Maybe this is also one of the reasons why I am your speaker for today. So the Japan Youth Summit was actually held in Osaka. This was only July 1 to 4, 2024. And I actually became one of the two fully funded candidates during the Japan Youth Summit. And this Japan Youth Summit also has given me room for growth. I became a moderator in a panel discussion. So there are actually 5 keynote speakers in that event. This Japan Youth Summit is very much involved with pioneering innovations for sustainable development goals. And our speakers are actually currently in the Kansai area of in Japan, and they have been involved and experts in their own fields. And I had the opportunity to ask them some of the questions I'm curious about, and also had a time to network with them and keep them as my contact through LinkedIn. So that's a very good opportunity for me. And our and this Japan Youth Summit is actually also a team event. So you will be grouped with other people before the event itself. So you will have the time to think about some of the ideas you have, and to be able to develop that in a group setting before your presentation at the event. So we are very blessed that our innovation idea was recognized as the second best. And I am very proud as the leader of Group 9 to be able to do this. So this is actually my very first experience as being a leader in an international event wherein I didn't know these participants beforehand. And it is also my first time to become a moderator in a panel discussion. And the Japan Youth Summit is actually one of the experiences wherein I realized that I and my team actually we have the potential to think of some innovative solutions related to sustainable development goals. Next slide, please. And also, I actually applied for the Anita Conti Sustainable Innovation Fellowship, and it would allow me to conduct a 3-month scientific stay in Paris from October to December. So I am very interested actually in World Youth Festival, but it would be at the same time with my fellowship in Paris, so I will not be able to see you in the real event. But I wish you luck, of course, in all your in all your applications and all your interviews. Next slide. Okay, so I would like to share with you my last few slides as conclusion, so that you would remember what I have shared with you today. Again, personal branding is how we present ourselves as unique. We show our unique values and expertise, and it is how we present ourselves in the world. It's like also selling ourselves, right? And we could do so by showing our strengths and also getting to know our target audience. And we should maintain consistency to have this clear brand image. We could use our international exposures to enhance our brand, to show that we are also culturally aware, flexible, and adaptable. And we should embrace our personal branding to stand out and also for our career advancement. Next, we would start to implement our personal branding strategies so that we could establish credibility we could differentiate ourselves from others, and we could position ourselves for professional growth. Okay, lastly, next slide, please. I would like to thank the Youth Break the Boundaries for this opportunity as a speaker. And I am Sheena Garcia. You could follow me in LinkedIn or in Instagram. This is also one last tip. You could build a strong online presence through social media and professional networking sites. So if you don't have LinkedIn or Instagram or Facebook, I think you should start with those now. So it would be some of the things you could show to the world on what you are, your expertise, and how you could contribute to what you're applying for. Again, thank you for this time. I would now pass the mic to Ina since I have finished sharing.
Okay, thank you so much, Sheena, for the insightful information. Once again, it's really, really insightful for us all, especially if you guys would like to apply for the fully funded participant for World Year Festival, guys. And well, we will open the Q&A session soon, but before that, I would like to make a brief summary from Sheena's presentations. So, about the personal branding is how you present yourself to the world by showcasing your value proposition and also expertise. Well, talking about the value proposition itself, I think it's really unique. I mean, it's not only important for a brand or a company, but it is also important for us as individual, right? To attract maybe employer or other company for the professional growth. And then it is important for us to identifying our strengths. So yeah, it's really, really important to know yourself at first, know yourself what you're good at, and then showcase to the world, like through social media or maybe connect with other people through international conference or also even national conference. Okay, and then yeah, as Sina shared before, that you can maximize your existence by social media using the LinkedIn or also Instagram. That's why it's important for you to establish clear brand image for yourself. And then Sheena also give us the tips when you are in international events. Like the most unique one is about the simplest thing, like the introduction. I think this is really important to let people know about yourself, like saying your name, where are you came from, and your background. And then about the international exposure itself, it can help you guys to get out of your comfort zone. It's really important to get out from your comfort zone, guys. Like for instance, you are here with us, yeah, uh, join the this webinar. Thank you so much. And then you can also connect with other people through international conference, and you can showcase your cultural awareness and also adaptability. Sheena also give us about the tips to avoid the imposter syndrome. Actually, I just heard about the imposter syndrome through this webinar. So thank you so much, Sheena, to give us the tips to avoid the imposter syndrome, like try to recognize and also give self reward for yourself, even for small achievement, guys. So yeah, I think that's a brief summary from me, and we will open for the Q&A session. Guys, if you have a question, please you can use the raise hand features, and then you can open your microphone, guys. But before that, I've read some question from the Zoom apps, from the chat box. For Lastri Nai, is it possible for you to open your microphone and yeah, discuss it directly with Sheena? Do you want to open your microphone or just through the chat box? Yeah, okay. I think I will read it for you, Sheena. So hi, Sheena. This is a question from Lastri, from Indonesia. She has a question. So, how to build a personal branding for someone in a field of social working who maybe make many contributions in real cases but didn't get recognition in a form of certificate. So do you have any tips for someone in this field to exposure their expertise or contribution? So thank you, Sheena.
Okay, thank you, Lastri, for this question. Okay, so for some of the experiences like social working, or if you're just starting, it's very possible that you do not have the recognition or awards yet because you're just starting. On some instances, even they are voluntary works, some still give these kinds of certificates. But for some instances wherein you do not have that proof, you could still use it. You could still use it in your application. So, for example, you could share that you have been involved with volunteering of in this kind of social work, and make sure to also give a brief one line or two line on your role in that social work. For example, I am involved with this particular kind of job, this is what I do, this is my part. And then it could be helpful, especially if you're applying for something which is related to that. So for example, your goal is to apply for an event which is also involved with this kind of social work. And then it's very related. So you could still share with us some of your social work, even though you do not have the certificate of it, what you did, the year of what you do it, and how it would be applied for this new event which you're applying for. If they are very interconnected, it would be very helpful. If they are not, um, you could you could try to tailor it such that it would be your relevant experiences which would be placed on what you are applying for. So for example, right now I think World Youth Festival has different categories for their for their business competition. Some are involved with is it sustainable development goal number like this. So if it's related to that, make sure you share with it. It's still okay. And then we go to the yeah, if I have not answered your question, maybe you could ask again, but I hope I was able to answer your question. Yes.
Okay, Sheena,
So
thank you so much. How about how last 3 night? Is it clear for you, or do you have any follow-up question?
Actually, I'm still have some doubts, but I don't have right words to put it in words to ask. I'm still thinking. I will ask more after the next question, maybe. I know.
Oh, okay, okay.
Thank you.
Okay,
But
thank you
thank
so
you.
much.
Thanks a lot, Miss Sheena.
sure, Lastri.
Thank you so much, Leslie. Okay, we have next question for Mustafa Al Kasar. So Sheena, I just want to know, how do you think we can measure the effectiveness of our personal branding efforts?
Hi, Mustafa is actually one of the Japan Youth Summit fully funded candidates. So, hi, Mustafa. Okay, his question is regarding measuring the effectiveness of personal branding efforts. So, for some people who has already built their social networking sites or professional websites, the number of connections could already be a measure for their effectiveness on personal branding efforts, since some of the people in the link in you don't know them yet, so they could actually search you there by some keywords on how you're related to, and you will have some connections, and they could already invite you with some possible job opportunities or other opportunities related with yourself. So you know you're effective in branding yourself with this kind of professional website. As for social media, there are some people who are actually influencers. So the measure of them is the number of followers. And one of the other thing which we could do to measure our effectiveness in our personal branding effort is through the interviews we have been involved with. If we were actually chosen as one of the people who they will fully fund, that's a very effective way on showing that we are very good in branding ourselves. Of course, our confidence and how they talked with us in the interview is a different thing from how we filled out the application form. But for sure, once they have already seen us during the interview in face-to-face virtual mode, they could already tell if our personal branding is effective or not.
Definitely. So you mean your attitude in general.
Mhm.
Thank you, Sheena. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Mustafa, and thank you, Lastri. I also would like to welcome other questions if there are comments, questions, suggestions, any reactions.
Is there any question, guys? Come on. Just take it as a pre-departure training before the real competition in Malaysia. Okay, so while waiting for the others, Sheena, actually, I have a question for you. Is it okay?
Of course, go Ina. Ask.
Okay, so well, actually, I'm curious about the consistency. You said before that it is important to establish clear brand image. But I will highlight this through the social media. So, how can you strike the right balance between sharing your personal life and also professional content to build a well-rounded personal brand, Sheena?
Okay, so that's a very good question. So how do we, for example, we have a professional site and or we also have social media. We are people, so we have different interests. We wanted to show all our sides. But we need to remember that, for example, we are on a professional networking site like LinkedIn. Most of the things we show there are related to our profession or on our career. For some for some contents which we wanted to share, which are very much more personal, we could choose to put them on our social media. As for things I w- this is my own perspective, but as for awards and recognitions, for example, we could post them on our LinkedIn or professional sites. We could do so as well on our on our social media. That's okay. As for personal things that we would like to share to strike a balance, we could put them or on our stories, which would only last for like 24 hours in our own personal sites. Some people actually have um their own separate social media for their selves personally and for their work. So that's how they differentiate it. It's it's very common that we wanted to share most of our lives with, but we need to know that, for example, we show our personal lives in LinkedIn, which is a professional site, but the people who are actually in LinkedIn are the people who are looking for example, they're also looking for employees or people related to this job market or for this kind of event. We know that some of our personal life may not be relevant on that kind of job or in that kind of event. So it will not be how to say so helpful to share with it on LinkedIn. So it's mostly a match between what the event is looking for and what you have. So if you know that they're looking for this type of person who is very much, for example, technical in writing, then you need to to know that you need to show that you have this technical writing expertise for them to be able to take you. If you share some of your expertise, which may not be relevant to them, they you might still not be able to get it because that's not what they're looking for. So it's mostly a match between what they're looking for and what you have. Yes, I guess that's how I would answer your question, Ina.
Okay, thank you so much. So the point is, we have to position ourselves. Like for LinkedIn, it is better to make a professional existence, right? So yeah, and if in Instagram or any other social media, you can share our personal life, but like on the only on stories, or you can also make a different social media.
Yeah, that would be great.
Okay, guys, is there any questions for Sheena? Okay, it's okay, last three. If you have a question, you can open your microphone and ask directly to Sheena.
Thank you. I know. So I'm really impressed with the experience of Miss Sheena, and you have visit many country, right? So do you mind to share with us what is the most interesting thing that you find, like you experience, maybe something that really surprised you at first when you experience like visiting various countries and join in various events? Thank you.
Okay, okay. Thank you, Lastri, for this very interesting question. So personally, your first, or in my case, my first travel experience would actually be one of the most memorable because it was the first time I went out of my comfort zone. But every time I travel to a different country, I meet different people, try different food, see different cultures, see different types of communication styles, see different places, see different landmarks. So each country would have their own charm. As for the most interesting place that I have been to, it may actually be related to what I like in life, or maybe what my ultimate goal in life is. So, for instance, I have been to Sydney, Australia, and I have been to France. I've been to Strasbourg and actually went to Paris. So for these two different places, so which is Sydney, Australia, and France, I have actually seen that these two places have a very good work-life balance. And for example, and in comparison to some other places, for example, I've also been to Japan, Korea, Hong Kong, right? You can see that these places are very much places which shows that people are very well disciplined, people are very hardworking. You could see that these are quite different from the places I've visited as well. Something you could adore in each place is their own unique style. So as for me, I am more inclined towards, or I like more something which could see a really work-life balance. So my favorite place I could say would most likely be Australia and France, as um compared to the places that I have been to. And also, of course, if, for example, what is more important to you, if it's also safety, if it is the comfort, if it is the proximity with relation to your home country. So you could actually have these types of factors. For example, you wanted to know which place you wanted to go. You could place these factors, give a magnitude or intensity for each one, maybe make an Excel, and then you could ultimately put a total when you're scoring these places, and you would see which you value the most among these places. So I guess that's how I said that I like Australia and I like France. Of course, for other places, I believe they have their own treasures. Maybe I haven't seen them yet. If I had the opportunity, I would try to see other places as well.
Thank you,
Yeah,
Sheena.
but
That's very
but of course,
interesting.
I'd like to share with you that Philippines is also a very great country for vacation. You, you definitely need to check the beaches like Boracay. Actually, yeah, Boracay is still also one of my most favorite places, even though I have visited a lot of international countries as well. So yes, each would have their own unique charm. So maybe if you're from Indonesia, if you've been to your maybe Bali or something which your country is mostly proud of, I guess that would be your answer as well, right? Yeah.
Thank you, Sheena. If I have a chance, maybe I could visit Philippines. That's
Yeah, that would be
thank you.
great, of course. I have been to Malang, Indonesia, and I have seen that the
Mm.
people are really quite similar to Filipinos. So their culture would really match, and it's very very easy to be friends people from Indonesia. So thank you guys.
Thank you, Sheena. Thanks a lot. That's a very interesting story. I never been abroad yet, so like it gives me motivation more. This is exciting.
Yes, maybe World Youth Festival would be your first in Malaysia. So I'm very happy for your first travel.
Okay.
Thank you, Lastri.
Thank you so much, Lastri, for the questions. Maybe any other question from the others, guys, before we jump to the information delivery from YBB team. Or maybe from Sheena, is there any like a message from for us or for participants that would like to apply for the fully funded?
Yeah. So for the participants who are applying for the fully funded program, I am already congratulating you for doing the first step, which is having the courage to share about yourself and to show what you could contribute to the event. I wish you all good luck and I wish you all the best. So do your best in your interviews. I hope you apply some of the things which I have shared in this talk for today. And I hope that you would continue doing so in your other applications in the future as well. Thank you.
Okay, thank you so much, Sheena, for the presentations. So guys, if you still have any question related to the personal branding, you can connect with Sheena on the LinkedIn or also Instagram at Cinnamon Roll. That's really unique, Sheena. Cinnamon.
Yes, it's gritty, right? Just kidding. Cinnamon roll.
That's cute. Okay, anyways, guys, yeah, before we jump to the information session from the YBB team, is it possible for you guys to open your camera first, because we will capture our moments with our greatest speaker now, with Sheena. Okay, guys, please open your camera. Okay, everyone, please open your camera. Anyone? Davin, Anacleto Roberto, Shairia Mae, Inani, Malika Ashani. Can you please open your camera?
Wait for a second.
Okay, sure. Okay, guys.
Give me face.
Okay, it's cool. Davin,
Yeah.
how about Davin, Shairia Mae, Malika Ashani, and okay. Is it possible for you guys to open your camera? Okay, I will count and then take a picture for us. 1, 2, 3. Once again. 1, 2, 3. Okay, guys, thank you so much. Thank you so much because you're willing to open your camera. By the way, thank you so much, Sheena, for the presentations. Now we will move to Kak Kori, because there are mandatory things for you guys, especially if you apply for the fully funded participant for World Youth Festival. Okay, Kak Kori.
Okay, hello everyone. Hello Sheena and also hello Mustafa. Actually, I know both of them. So yeah, am I audible, Ina?
Yeah, Kak.
Okay. So actually, I just want to give you some announcement about the fully funded. Okay. Is it visible, guys, in your screen, my PPT?
It's good, Kak.
Okay. I just want to give you some information. If you apply for fully funded, and then this is like the interview flow from us. Actually, you will get an email for interview. Not on November. I think this is wrong. Actually, it will be. You can get it like next week. Wait a minute. I will fix it up after this. But actually, you will get the email next week, and then in that email, you will get some link to book your time based on your preference. So yeah, please arrange the time, your available time, to book the schedule, because you are not able to reschedule, guys. Okay. And then the candidate must enter the Zoom, and then please wait in the main room, because in the main room, the interview session actually not in the main room, but we will invite you to the breakout room, which is there are some panelists that ask you some question, and then the interview will take like 10 until 15 minutes. Okay. I move on. Okay, wait a sec. And then this is the example of the email that you may get if you accepted as fully funded candidate. So because this is of the example of Istanbul Youth Summit, but our time will be in Jakarta's time. So it must be like GMT +7. Okay, like the event. And then I think it will be on weekend. So just wait until the committee give you the email and send you the email if you eligible to be fully funded candidate. And then this is the things that you need to highlight. Actually, the interview will be in English language, and then you must be dressed with casual, and then prepare your essay idea in the slide. So you need to present for 5 minutes. I will also like attach these things in the email, so don't worry. And then submit your idea to this email, and then presentation not more than 5 minutes. So it's not include about with your introduction. So we will ask you about yourself and some things like that, and then we will allow you to present the idea, and then it's only 5 minutes. And then the time for interview from 10 until 2 in GMT +2. Sorry, 7. And then only participants who pass the selection page will be eligible to participate in fully funded interview. So actually, both of the participants, either you are not accepted as fully funded, we will give you an email and send you the email. So you will notice that you are not eligible to be fully funded, but you can also apply for self-funded. And then the panel's decision is final and cannot be altered. Okay, we move on. Okay, that's it actually. So yeah, good luck. Inshallah, see you next week if you are accepted as fully funded candidate. Thank you. Give it back to Ina.
Okay, thank you so much, Ms. Corey, for the information. So guys, if you have a question related to the fully funded participant, any follow-up question related to fully funded participant, you can DM us at Instagram or through our WhatsApp admin, guys. Okay. Oh yeah, I also want to remind you guys that you have to submit the agreement letter and also complete the payment batch 1 for the World Year Festival. And once again, for the interview, for the fully funded interview will be announced next week, maybe at 5 August, guys. So if you still, okay, so once again, if you still have questions, please DM us at World Youth Festival or at Youth Break the Boundaries, and also through our WhatsApp. Miss Corey, sorry, there is a question from Jin Chi about
okay.
How to get the interview qualification.
Yeah, actually, it will be depend on your essay that you submit before. So actually, we are still in reviewing your essay, guys. So yeah, just wait. And then maybe my team will send the qualification of the participants that eligible, because in previous pre-orientation, I already mentioned about the criteria, who are the participants that eligible based on the essay, what the things that we score from the essay, some things like that. Yeah, just follow up to the team, and then maybe I will also remind to my social media team to share the drive for my material in previous and also today. Okay, so you can see the material about the qualification for fully funded in that drive. Okay.
Okay, thank you so much, Miss Corey. Okay, guys, I think that's a wrap from today's meeting. Thank you so much once again for coming to the pre-orientation class of World Year Festival. I think that we will also schedule for another pre-orientation class. So stay tuned on our Instagram and see you guys. Thank you so much.